Hi guys, it's Wanda, and today we're going to be talking about this little cute sparkly thing here from ROYDX. It is a Dutch oven, and it's too cute to be outside over a campfire. When ROYDX asked me would I like to demo this Dutch oven, I said sure, because it's smaller than the Dutch oven I have here, and this Dutch oven is very old. I'm going to be showing you some differences between this smaller one, this bigger one, and this just cast iron. Now this one from ROYDX, it's heavy like all the others. This cast iron is enamel coated, but it's got this sparkly lid. Even this has sparkle in it and everything, and it's really, it's just a cute piece for the kitchen, but it's very functional. The inside, as you can see, is coated. Comes in very handy for lots of things. You can fry in them, you can bake in them, you can boil in them. You just don't dry cook in them. They have to have some liquid, some butter, some oil, something in there. You don't just turn the fire on under an empty pot. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about using a Dutch oven, some of the uses of a Dutch oven, the care for a Dutch oven, and some of the reasons why. Now this one I just showed you the inside of. We're going to talk a little bit about the care. This one's brand new, so you've seen it's pretty and coated and everything. You want to keep it that way. In order to keep a Dutch oven looking good, number one is the way you cook in it. Do not dry cook in it. Number two is the way you clean it. Don't just take a hot pot and immerse it in any cold water. You let it cool off before you start washing. You don't use any harsh chemicals, and you don't use any harsh like Brillo pads and things on it. If you do get a really bad something stuck to it, put a touch of water and a touch of baking soda in it and heat it at a low temp for a few minutes, and then cool it back down and scrub it out. That's the way you take care of a Dutch oven with coating and all on it. The reason why I'm saying that is this older Dutch oven, Danny's had this one probably 20-30 years or so. You can see the lid here. Right here it has a bad spot in it where something must have gotten on it and it got scraped, and it's taken this coating off. Now you can see underneath here it has gotten discolored somewhat from use. Now the outside still looks great. Now the inside of this pot, you can see it's done discolored really bad. The enamel coating, like the other one, is almost wore out here, and on the bottom it just has a ring around it where you can see where it did have enamel coating. Now this one probably has been used for 20+ years, so that's one of the reasons. The outside still looks great. One of the reasons I'm saying clean it the right way is because you don't want to discolor the inside and stuff like that. But after 20+ years you can see why. So when you're using this, you want to wipe it out really well before you start cooking in it. And then you want to go ahead and add some kind of liquid or oil or butter or whatever you're going to add in order. And you bring it up to a temperature really slowly. You don't put it on, if you're going to be frying in it, don't put it on high. Put it on a medium and let it build, because these hold temp. When they get up to the frying stage, then you just leave it at a medium. It'll hold it. That makes it easier to fry. Now a lot of people bake bread in them. You can bake bread. You can cook in them in the oven in any way, any kind of roast potatoes and stuff. I've used this one a lot for a big roast or a big chicken or whatever, or you're going to be doing like roast potatoes and carrots or chicken potatoes and carrots, anything like that. This one I did a different recipe, and we're going to talk about that in a minute in it. You don't want to use any type of metal utensils on this. And even though this is made where it takes the heat in the oven, they sent these oven mitts because this gets hot. You do not want to reach in the oven and touch it or anything, or on the top of the stove. Even this will get hot if you've got that on there and you're cooking on the stove. You don't want to touch this, because once this heats up, this heats up. Once the lid heats up, this heats up because of the way it's made. So you want to be able to take the lid off and put it, don't lay it down on your cabinet either. Have somewhere designated, a towel laid out or something where you can put that lid on it, and when this pot comes out of the oven or off of the stove, you want to have some way to put it somewhere. You don't want to put it on your cabinet. That's where these come in handy. I have a supply of wooden, I guess you would call them pot holders. I take and put my pots, all pots, not just this one, but all pots, on a wooden pot holder in my kitchen. I have like 4 or 5 of them. So when you're cooking in these pots, don't leave an acidy food in them, like spaghetti or anything that's got acidity, tomato based, like if you made a soup with tomatoes and things like that. Once it's done and you finish serving, go ahead and dish that up into a different storage container. Don't leave it sitting in this all the time, because that can discolor the inside of it. And once you wash this, dry it and store it in a dry place so it doesn't start to deteriorate or rust. You treat these a lot like you would just a regular cast iron. Now here I have a cast iron Dutch oven. This one right here, it's got the little legs, it's got the lid, it's got the handle, and the lid is made to put coals around. So this one is made for outside. It's made to go on your fire because it's got the legs. You can sit it down in the coals. The handle is made where you can pick it up, and this puts coals around it. These things are excellent for cooking outside, campfires and stuff. Now you can use these, but isn't it just too cute to put on a campfire? It says the ROYDX enamel cast iron cookware can be used on all heat surfaces, including gas, electric, solid plate, and radiant ring. That means the electric, solid plate, or radiant ring. Vitros, ceramic glass, induction, oven fired by gas, oil, coal, or wood. The only place you can't use this is in a microwave. The induction was one thing I looked at a long time ago, and I could not use a lot of pots and pans, so I did not get one. But this can be used on an induction top. That is a big plus in today's, because a lot of people go with those. And like I said, it can go anywhere. Any type of oven, even outside, it can be used. Now I really like the smaller size. This one is very heavy, and once you add food, water, everything to it, it gets very heavy. It's hard for me to pick up and move. This one is still almost, it's about 3/4 the size maybe, but for Danny and I, we use a smaller amount of food, and this one I wouldn't even fill half of it most of the time trying to cook things. This one is the size I needed for just the 2 of us, and I cooked the other day. I was really excited to be able, because we're in between 2 properties. One is under construction and one is being remodeled. So I have to play around how I do things and what I do when I'm cooking. And I wanted to make stuffed bell peppers. We had some beautiful bell peppers that had come in, and I sliced them in half and made like a boat. And I got all my ingredients together, and I said, I'm going to use my new Dutch oven. So I made stuffed bell peppers in the ROYDX Dutch oven. I had garlic that I freeze. I minced up lots of garlics last year. I had so much garlic and I didn't want it to ruin, so I minced it up, put it in bags, and put it in the freezer. And I just break off a piece about the size of whatever I think I want and put it into my food. So I put the garlic over in, I browned the meat that I had, which was meat from our cows, browned some ground meat, but you can use any kind. It doesn't have to be beef, it can be whatever you want in your stuffed pepper. It can be any meat that you have. So I browned it, added the onions, added the garlic, stirred it up, added rice and ketchup. The rice came from the Caskell Family Farms in Braggadocio, Missouri. We buy that bulk, and the ketchup was an organic ketchup bought from the store. I mixed all that together. I put it in my pepper boats, sat my boats down inside this Dutch oven, sprinkled cheese on top of all of them, put the lid on, and put it in the oven at 375 for about 40 minutes. It was 30 to 40 minutes. I turned the oven off and just let them sit in the oven because I had somewhere to be and something to do. And I came back a little later. The Dutch oven helped them. I was gone maybe 30, 40 minutes. Come back, they're still warm, and that we were ready to eat. And so we had some good fresh peas from a jar that I had canned, and some cornbread, and wonderful, wonderful meal. So the Dutch oven will hold the heat. Lots of times when I'm cooking meats and stuff, I'll put it in the oven, turn it on, cook them for about an hour or so, shut the oven off, and just let it sit there. It's the original slow cooker. That's what it is. And this one is just too cute to pass up from ROYDX. So we want to thank ROYDX for sending the little mini Dutch oven. So if you're interested in the ROYDX, we're going to have a link in the description below. And it's going to be a great addition when I get my kitchen back in order, guys. Thank you from Pecan Grove.